Rebellious Bride. In a world that demands you to obey the wrong rules, being rebellious is right. Jenna Calvert, the billionaire's rebellious bride. Elena will do anything to save her very ill mother from dying. She has no choice but to beg for help from her wealthy, ruthless grandfather, who brutally disowned her mother for marrying a poor man. Her grandfather agreed to help, in many one cruel condition. She has to marry the powerful Greek billionaire, Adonis Stavrakos. Adonis is breathtaking in every way, gorgeous as sin, and has a devastating effect on women. But Elena hates him. He's as cruel and ruthless as his grandfather. His rules are the laws and must be obeyed. His strict order: the bride must wear white. Driven with contempt, she rebelled and walked down the aisle in all black, like attending her own funeral. Another redhead beauty that will give many headaches to our sexy billionaire hero. Let's have fun together as we witness Adonis and Elena journey in finding true love. Prologue. Adonis Pov. Where is she? My father, Christoph Stavrakos, came up beside me near the wedding ark. It's almost an hour and she's still not here. Do you think she's coming? She'll come. She has to be. I had been controlling my temper for the past 40 minutes. One thing I really hated most was being keep waiting. I don't think so, son. Look at the people are getting impatient. Hey, look at the family, relatives, friends, and colleges of the Stavrakos and Pali's families gathered for the wedding. Call her. Something must have happened. How can I explain to him that I can't because I don't have her number? After what happened on our first meeting, we never bothered to exchange numbers. She'll be here. The wedding coordinator could have called her already. If she's not planning to come, then everyone would have been advised to leave. Well, you're right. Dad smiled faintly and went back to his seat. My eyes riveted at the huge twin doors of the Stavrakos Hotel's grand ballroom, where the bride would come in. I had been staring at it for quite too long already. My eyes started to get sore. Damn, she's doing this on purpose, making me wait and being humiliated in front of everyone. She's really testing my patience. I mustered softly, then shifted my attention to the loud voices of people talking. My eyes diverted to Constantin Palace, who was enjoying talking to people, taking advantage of the lateness of his granddaughter to catch up with his relatives and friends. He seemed to be forgetting about the wedding. Hey, one of my groomsmen, Eros Petrakis, tapped my back. You're having roots from standing here too long. I told you, getting married is a bad idea. We're still young. Let's enjoy your bachelor's life. Trust me, do it in your 40s. Not again. I told you my reason. Man, I already made my decision. So cut it off. Come on, stop embarrassing yourself. She's not coming. Where's your bride? Let's go to the reception and start drinking those vintage wines. I'm thirsty. My throat is parched already. I huffed, shaking my head. I'm pretty sure she'll come. Let's hope for that. He pointed at the older officiating minister, already sleeping on his chair, then laughed out the words, bad luck, and left. For the 9th time, I checked the time on my wrist again. It had been an hour past the schedule of the wedding ceremony. The whole entourage walked down the aisle and took their places on the front 30 minutes ago. The only missing was the bride. I choked back anger. realizing that I was just made a fool of myself there. Eris was right. We should start drinking those vintage wines. I was about to leave when the music started, playing the bridal entrance song. All heads turned to the huge twin doors, looking very excited to see the bride enter and walk down the aisle. The doors opened so wide, revealing the bride. Everyone was shocked. The bride entered and walked down the aisle wearing an all black wedding gown. Chapter 1. 3 months ago, Elena Spov. Go home, Miss. Mr. Palace won't see you. The intimidating, bulky looking gate guard, wearing a dark uniform and peaked cap, said to me again. There was no sympathy in his expression as he looked down at me. Almost every day, for the last 5 days, I had been waiting for long hours, standing outside the huge iron gate of the palace mansion. Regardless of the weather, I was hungry, thirsty, shivering from the cold, but I bared them all. My fighting spirit was so strong that I overpowered the fatigue that overwhelmed me. Please, I need to see my grandfather. This is a matter between life and death. I was like a broken record, pleading to him the same thing every day. He sighed, looking irritated. The master, he said, he doesn't know? How can he not know him? Me. I'm his granddaughter, I insisted, though I said it too many times to him already. My mother is his only child, which he doesn't acknowledge. He stepped forward, trying to intimidate me. Go home now. He orders us to get rid of you. We have no choice but to use force if you won't leave. My lips tightened in anger. My grandfather, the aristocratic, wealthy Constantine Palace, callously disowned my mother, Celine, because she fell in love with Dad, who happened to be her driver, bodyguard. He cut all his connection with her when she eloped with Dad. Unfortunately, Dad died before he could marry Mom. He had a car accident on the eve of their wedding and died on the spot. Mom was left pregnant, being young at 19. She did not know where to go. She was used to a sheltered life, pampered like a princess and protected like a precious gem. She had no choice but to reach out to Grandpa and beg for his forgiveness, but she failed. She refused to accept her as his daughter again. For the past 23 years, she kept on sending him a greeting card on his birthday to let him know that he was always in her thoughts, but still, he never forgave her. Despite everything, Mom never wanted me to hate him. I grew up hopeful that someday our family would reunite again, until the time I turned 18. He went to our school as an invited guest to give an inspirational speech to the incoming high school graduates. I was ecstatic and proudly told my classmates that he was my grandfather. Wow, so you're his heiress. Some believed me and were quite impressed, but there were others who raised their eyebrows, thinking that I was delusional. I don't believe you're related to him. You can't even buy a new pair of shoes. Rita, the meanest girl in high school, looked down at my feet. You've been wearing those since 3 years ago? She and her two besties laughed at me, including some students who heard us. My face flushed so red, but I told myself, I'm a strong girl. I lifted my chin up. Believe what you like, we have the same surname. Palace, right? That's enough proof. My dear, I have the same surname as the King of England, Rita said loudly, and everyone laughed. I intended to prove to everyone that I was telling the truth. When Grandpa finished his speech, I went to him, and with a bright, happy smile, I introduced myself to him as his granddaughter. I remember vividly how his smile dissolved and looked at me oddly. I only realized later on that it was hate and anger that I saw in his face. I don't know what you're talking about, kid. I don't have a granddaughter. His chin lifted arrogantly as he denied me savagely in front of everyone, and that hurt so bad. I realized later on that he did it on purpose, to humiliate me, to punish me for the sins of my mother. He made me the laughing stock in front of everyone, and that surely left a mark in me. He denied me. All of my hopes of reconciliation died. I swore never to go near him again. But now, I have broken my word. I'm begging for his mercy, though it makes me feel sick. If only I have someone to turn to. I sucked in a deep breath. It was so frustrating that we were left with no choice. He was our last resort. Rain started pouring in, and I was still waiting outside the iron gate. Go home, the guard shouted at me, but I shook my head. Please let me in. I need to talk to my grandfather. That won't be possible, miss, he answered, and the car pulled out the gate, coming from the inside. My heart lifted up when I saw the white-haired older man in the passenger seat of the moving car. Grandpa! I yelled and ran towards the car. When the gate opened, Grandpa! He refused to hear me, his aristocratic face directed straight at the front, intentionally ignoring me. Grandma, please! Mom is very ill. She needs your help so badly. My trembling hands on the car's glass window. Please help Mom. She'll die if you won't. I was soaking from the pouring rain, crying and begging for his mercy, but it seemed like he never heard me. The car continued to move through the gates, and I was running along with it. We need your help, Grandpa. Please, I beg you. I'll do anything for you, Grandpa. Whatever you want. I promise. Just help Mom survive. She's dying. The car moved faster, speeding up, and I was left there standing, staring at it until it was gone. The rain poured heavily. Same with my tears. I knelt down on the ground, feeling so helpless. Later, I arrived home. I thanked my neighbor for taking care of my mom while I was gone. Mom was getting weaker every day. She was skin and bones already. She needed intensive palliative treatment immediately for her stage A liver cancer. My heart felt so heavy looking at her. For years, she had worked hard for the two of us to survive. She bore every manual work available because she was not qualified for any office job. I grew up seeing her always exhausted, not feeling well, or eating unhealthy. Her bad eating habits made her sick. When I graduated high school, I worked as an all-around assistant in a fashion design and manufacturing company. I was able to help Mom pay the house rent and her daily expenses from my earnings. Our way of living improved. It became easy for both of us. Sadly, the company went bankrupt. Instead of looking for another job, me and my best friend decided to put up our own online shopping business. We were just starting it a few months ago when we found out that Mom's health condition got worse. Did you see him? My mind shifted back to the present and paid attention to Mom. Yeah, I did. Her eyes instantly lit up. What did he say? I told him that you're sick, but he just ignored me. I heaved a long sigh. I'll think of other ways, Mom. No, she shook her head weakly. I believe he heard you. Please go back tomorrow, Elena. She was right. The gate guard of the palace mansion was extra friendly when I arrived, as well as the other guards. If they could lay down red carpet on the floor, they would, to make me feel welcome. Mr. Palace wants to see you. A caddy car will take you inside the mansion. An old butler opened the door for me at the palace mansion. He welcomed me with a bright smile and ushered me inside the huge, luxurious living room. Everything screamed riches, class, and elegance. From the spotless black tiled floor, the chandeliers hanging in every corner of the room, the expensive ornaments of the room, the gold moldings of the ceiling. My lips twisted with distaste. I was not impressed. I once imagining my mom, imprisoned in this world of wealth and privilege, but with a strict father who ran her life, depriving her from her freedom. I sat on the center of the huge Victorian couch and was suddenly surprised to see the two maids enter the living room, each pushing cart. One cart full of colorful desserts and another one with different kinds of drinks. "What do you like to eat, madame?" one of the maid asked me with a smiling face. "No thanks, I'm not hungry or thirsty," I answered, and saw the disappointment on the maid's face. The two maids left, and I was left alone again. My eyes wandered around the room again, studying the furniture and ornaments. There were several paintings on the walls, various ceramic vases, and figurines in the shelves that looked rare and priceless. A single vase or painting could last a lifetime for a food supply or enough for mom's medical treatment. The thought fueled me with rage. Elena. My heart suddenly stopped when I heard my name, not moving an inch to where I was sitting. I took a deep breath and looked at a tall, white-haired older man walking towards me. Grandpa? End of chapter 1.